Hosted in conjunction with Chris Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi and welcome to another Crisp TV Q&A. Today I'm joined by Christopher Evans, CEO of Parkworth Investments. Thank you for joining me, Chris.
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for the opportunity.
Chris, for the audience today, how about an overview of the company, a bit of an executive summary of Parkworth Investments and the function it performs in its respective market?
Sure. Parkworth Investments is an Australian private company licensed and a regulated fund manager for the International Crypto Fund. Parkworth Investments was founded an International Crypto Fund, ICF, to fill a large gap in the Australian wholesale market, enabling wholesalers and institutional investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum without the security risks associated with any new technology and blockchain, including custodial wallets and exchanges.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. What I'd love to dive deeper on in regards to that, Chris, is a bit of a differentiating factor. So give us a bit of a deeper understanding of the distinct value add that Parkworth Investments brings to this market and to that market that you just detailed. What the specific benefits there are that are offered.
Sure, good question. Whilst we were completing our due diligence, possibly in the last 3 years, we went quite an deep extent to due diligence, and we established 5 key elements that were essential in this space. 1 being security, 2 being the fees, 3 access, 4 liquidity, and the 5th one being regulation. I'll start with number 1 being the security. Investing via online exchanges may be risky. Holding digital assets on an exchange platform may be vulnerable to hacking or loss of seed keys. Local government laws, regulations are a few risks associated with this type of arrangements. We mitigate these risks by securing the fund's assets offline with a regulated license and insured custodian through BitGo out in New York. The second one will be fees. Accessing digital assets via some exchanges can be costly. They generally have high buy-in and sell fees, minimal buying power. Several crypto funds have likewise high entry costs, generally high minimum investments of 100,000 coming in, including performance fees and lock-up periods. We have kept our fee structure simple and competitive with no performance fee. That's on the fees. Then we have the access to the actual assets, which wholesale investors can now have easy access to institutional grade digital assets via a registration form online through registry, and our partners, which is Pitcher Partners, our fund administrator, directly invest into the fund via unit trust. And most importantly is liquidity. Compared to many other asset classes with lock-in periods, Bitcoin and Ethereum can be considered very liquid at most of the times. And regulation, as we know, regulation is coming harder into these type of asset classes. It still hasn't been evolved yet, but it's coming in. Parkworth Investments was ahead of its time regulating the fund in Australia via licensed unregistered wholesale managed investment scheme, an MIS, meeting all current regulatory requirements.
So obviously there are obviously some very distinct differentiating factors there. Well, you've done your due diligence ahead of time, and you've figured out exactly where the potholes were and how to fill them. So you've got the vehicle in place, the regulation has been met, you have the fund structure that's attractive to investors. Do you see as having other competitive advantages to other companies, other funds in this industry? What do you see those are?
Sure. In Australia, there's not much competition when it comes to a regulated managed investment scheme in the crypto space. But it's a combination of advantages, and in line with the key elements I mentioned prior, which underlines our investment strategy. That sees transparent and vigorous implementation procedures to minimise spreads and follow a public audible Bitcoin Ethereum benchmark rate. The fund does not engage in any derivatives, so that's important, leverage or short selling, and has embraced a strictly passive buy and hold strategy, very similar to super funds. It's a medium to long term alongside a regulated, secure and licensed custodian. Competitive fee structure and no performance fee. So in line with those 5 elements that I mentioned before, plus some traditional structures like super funds, we've managed to combine both to give it a good competitive edge.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, The products there in place, and obviously the regulatory frameworks in place, the competitive advantages in place, and the almost first mover effect is there as well. It all comes down to the team and your ability to execute. So tell us about the team and what skills and assets they bring to the table, including yourself, to actually execute on these plans.
Sure, we've put a strong team together, and that was implemented from day one, which was important. Again, alongside with those 5 elements, which we have Horn & Wilcox is our legal counsel for the fund. We have Guildford's Funds Management, which is our trustee. And we have Pitcher Partners, which is our fund administrator. And all our assets are held in a secured custody and licensed BitGo, which I mentioned before. Myself, I've been in finance and corporate banking since 2001. Prior roles included commercial banker with HBOS International as a distribution manager, and Resimac, and a cryptocurrency trader and analyst myself. I'm also a director of Tribe Digital Ventures, which is a security token offering for hard real assets. The trustee, Robert Payne, is a managing director of Guildford's Funds Management. He's had over 20 years of experience in corporate governance and financial licensing. We are specialised in managed investment schemes, trustee services and compliance management. And we also have our Chief Financial Officer, which is René Dubois, which has extensive experience and work for AMP Financial Services.
Excellent. A bit of a parting question today, Chris. I'd love to know what the 6 to 12 month outlook is for Parkworth Investments, as well as what you think is happening in the market over the next 12 to 24 months, what we should be wary of.
Sure. We're looking at being at the first choice of digital asset fund out in Australia and possibly globally, increasing our presence in the global markets. We like to keep things simple. We don't ever want to complicate it. And what we see going forward in the first 12 to 18 months is a lot of volatility and correction in the market, being in every space across the board, from stock markets to shares, bonds, and inflation all playing a role. But we believe that at some point there's 3 layers into the cryptocurrency, especially one being third layer of mutual funds coming in, pension funds and maturity. So we look at a 12 to 18 month stability and then growth from there.
Well, thank you for that insight, and I'm sure the audience would appreciate that as well. And obviously, congratulations on the setup to date and having all the stars align on your end, and we look forward to watching that being executed over the next year or so. And Chris, for anybody who is interested, they will reach out to your deal room via the link in the description, and I'm sure you'd be happy to discuss and carry on discussions from there. Is that right?
Most definitely. Thank you very much, Sydney, for the opportunity. And anyone that would like any further questions answered, definitely go to the deal room and we can take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Speak to you soon.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.